The sun has risen over the city of Leipzig, and with that comes Elimination Day here at DreamHack Open. 6 teams are fighting for their tournament life to give their shot at the glorious DreamHack trophy and their shot at $100,000 prize money. My name is Fresbiz, your desk host for this weekend. Joining me up here are the wonderful Potter and Maniac. Guys, we have got so much to be delving into today. Elimination Day, it doesn't get better than this.
Yeah, if you're a viewer, that's when you really get excited, right? First of all, we get best of 3, and we know everybody loves a little bit of best of 3, and then there is impact. Then there are consequences today. The 2 first team that loses these 2 first game are out. Last place, 7 and 8, no point for the ranking, anything. There's a lot on the line today.
There definitely is, and I mean, always the elimination days are the days where you see who's ready to rise to the occasion, who's not going to falter under the pressure, and those are the games that really matter. And I think the viewers at home, along with us, these are the games that definitely matter.
Yes, exactly. And of course, the ESL Pro Tour for this tournament will be leading to the DreamHack Masters. So the winner of this tournament, the person who placed first, will be heading to DreamHack Masters Jönköping. So that is a lot on the line for all of these teams competing today, right?
There is, and I mean, it's going to be a great honor to play at Jönköping Masters. I'm so happy to see it actually welcome a Master. This used to be one of the main cities of Counter-Strike for such a long time, and if you're watching now and you're a bit young, maybe you don't know about it, but it used to be huge tournaments there, and I'm happy to see the Masters.
Of course, and it's also important to note our roads to Cologne as well. These haven't changed at all since yesterday, but they will be changing a lot over the course of the next few months. Obviously, you can see the rankings in there, which are the ESL World Rankings. So there's going to be a lot of changes to this leaderboard coming up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said again, if today you lose your first elimination game, well, you're going to have no point, 0, nada. So yeah, a lot on the line.
Yes, exactly. And of course, we can take a look at the ESL World Rankings as well, which features some of the teams that are here at this tournament. Of course, you noted yesterday, Maniac, that placing 14th, the highest are Virtus.pro. But of course, after today, this will potentially change a little bit because some of these teams will be receiving, as you noted, 0 points. So it really pays to be keeping it in today, making it to that semi-final.
Yeah, and I can pass it on to Christine here, your mates from Cloud9, plus 26 ranked.
Definitely
skyrocketing.
Yes, they have been skyrocketing, and I know that we mentioned yesterday there's like 6 teams on this list here at this tournament. So definitely that list is going to be shifting and adjusting all throughout the year, and it's every one of those teams focused to just make it up that ladder.
Yes, exactly. And we've got some incredible teams competing here. Obviously, Mad Lions and Big have headed straight through to the semi-finals tomorrow. But let's just take a little overview of our groups. Obviously, Group A featuring Cloud9 and Virtus.pro. That's going to be our first matchup of the day. And then Group B was the Danish group of death. Obviously, it was only Sprout who don't have any Danish blood in their team, and they're actually a hometown favorite as well. They got 3 Germans in there, and I'm loving the crowd, by the way. They were absolutely rooting for Big, and it paid off, right? They headed straight to the semi-finals tomorrow. They got a day off to chill out.
That's the best scenario, right? And something that we have to talk about on this graph as well is that the 2 teams that are already in playoffs are either local invite, so we see the impact of the crowd and what it means for the atmosphere, and someone that qualified. So it is actually very important to leave these doors open, and the 2 teams in playoff are not invited at the moment.
Yes, exactly. Well, we'll be starting off with Cloud9 versus Renegade. Cloud9 versus Virtus.pro, sorry. So many names, so many big names today competing, but let's take a quick recap of our Group A. Obviously, we can see that Cloud9 lost out to Renegades yesterday, which pushes them into the lower bracket where today they will be facing Virtus.pro. Obviously, it's important to note that these are all best of 3s here, but as we can see in the winners match game yesterday, it was Big who were heading straight on to that semi-final tomorrow. There have been a few little upsets coming here and there, but I feel like that big win, we kind of expected that to happen back in Seville, didn't happen. Now, coming onto home soil, they've looked incredibly confident.
Definitely, and I think they're happy and sad. I know Tabson yesterday mentioned that he'd rather be playing, but you know what? It's nice to have the day off. It's nice to revisit your strategies and just strengthen your game plan coming into that semi-final championship Sunday. Just because, you know, Gob, new in-game leader, new roster change, 2 new members coming in. So I think it's probably a blessing in disguise for these big guys to be able to take a breather, understand, hey, we just did really well on day 1. Let's continue this successful trajectory.
No, exactly. And we are going to be moving into our first matchup of the day very, very shortly. It's Cloud9 versus Virtus.pro. And it is a best of 3, which leaves the map Veto to be very, very exciting. Indeed, we were kind of talking about it beforehand. I don't really know which way this is going to go.
To be honest, there are many different scenarios, many different parallel universes that could happen in that Veto. I'm not exactly sure what team is going to remove what in the first rotation. I think if you look at Cloud9, they should float Vertigo. I don't think Vertigo is a risk for VP, so if you're Cloud9, you just leave Vertigo there. They float Vertigo, they ban Mirage, that makes sense. It's one of the most played map for VP. And VP going for Nuke, there is a lot of punishment possibilities for Cloud9.
Absolutely. I think it makes sense that Mirage and Nuke have been vetoed. Here, I'm looking for Cloud9 to actually pick Overpass. I know that you lost. Okay, perfect. Yes, I love this.
Okay. They leave Inferno in the mix. My question was Cloud9 picking Overpass or Inferno? They are on a 9-map win streak. That is pretty impressive. So if they can snatch Inferno as a third, that would be a win on the side of Cloud9. But I am not sure that VP is going to allow it. You still have Train in the mix as well. Exactly. That Inferno ban coming from VP, that makes sense. And you see it. The floating Vertigo, it comes back as a third map. There we're going to see if Cloud9 is going to regret it. But I wouldn't even know who to favor if this goes to a third.
I don't think Cloud9 are going to regret it, and I think VP are prepared for that Vertigo as well. I'm glad that that came down to a third map instead of the first or second map, but I'm confident with this Overpass pick for Cloud9 just because it's so much easier to be able to adjust whatever mistakes you thought you guys made on that day one. I know yesterday I saw their coach in the business center at the hotel just studying away on his laptop, trying to make adjustments as fast as possible, and I spoke with him a little bit. They think that, these are going to be adjustments that are going to be pretty easy for them to make. So that bodes well for them.
Well, speaking of Cloud9, Potter, you have got a player to watch from this side. Who is it?
Yes, it's going to be Floppy, right? Of course it's going to be Floppy. I think when you look at these players on this team list, it's very easily identifiable that Floppy is going to be your star player, and he showed up yesterday, right? But they had a very slow start to that first half, only garnering 3 rounds on that T side on Overpass, and it's just not quite enough. It doesn't give you enough wiggle room to play with. It doesn't give you enough room to make mistakes, because in Counter-Strike, it is a game of mistakes. You're going to be making mistakes throughout the entirety of the round, so they need to be able to give themselves a little bit more breathing room.
Well, Maniac, you have also picked a player to watch, and this time it's from the side of Virtus.pro. Who are you going to be keeping your eye on?
Yeah, I'm going to put James on the spot, actually. I'm going to put some pressure on him, to be honest, because he was nowhere to be found in the first game. That's just sad to say, and I don't want to pile on him, but he wasn't there, and I believe that James was one of the reasons why VP or Vanguard before made it to the next level. During the major, again, he was one of the most influential players. We used to have the meme, James is always saving his AWP. That used to be true a few months ago, but then he actually became part of the machine. He was actually having impact, he was decisive, he took responsibility, and yesterday he was, I'm not even sure he was on the server. He wasn't involved in any duels, he wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah.
So maybe Big's game plan countered him, that it's a possibility, but anyway, I want to see more from him.
I think that was what was such a shame about Virtus.pro yesterday. We saw them playing so passive, they were so contained on that CT side, and when you have players like James on that lineup, you don't want to be seeing that. You want to be seeing some pushes, you want to be seeing some aggression, because you know that they can make it work. Are you expecting a different Virtus.pro to kind of be coming out today?
They have to. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I refuse to live in a world where a team that makes it to the final of the major then goes out last place of the DreamHack Open. I'm sorry, I'm not going to have it. This is best of 3 now. Everyone can have a bad day when you start your competition. Maybe you're not straight in the mood. You've just had a long boot camp, so you need to shift from training focus to actually competitive focus. I can understand that. But now you've had your day. Your Joker is up. Now you have to play a best of 3 and you need to show us why you're going to make it to the playoff.
Exactly. But I think, VP are in a really tricky, sticky situation for themselves that they're placing themselves in. We consistently talk about how VP may be overthinking some of these rounds. They seem to be turtling up. They seem to not want to go out and find the fight. They don't seem to want to go to the normal contact points and stop their opponents and make them uncomfortable. So it is curious to understand exactly what it is. Maybe it's a part of them not wanting to make mistakes, not wanting to give their opponents any chances to come back into the rounds. But the thing is they got to be ready to fight dirty whenever they have to, and I just don't think they're able to capitalize on some of the openings that have been given to them.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously yesterday they lost out 16-8 to Big in the first matchup. It's very difficult sometimes coming into those first matchups of the day, and I also wanted to point out when we spoke to Big in the post-game interview that aggression that they weren't showing, that Virtus.pro weren't showing, when it doesn't work out for them, you know exactly what they're going to do, right? You could just read them like an open book. So I'm wondering whether that change of game style for Virtus.pro is really going to come out strongly or immediately. I don't know. I really don't know how to read these guys.
Listen, it has to. So when I was talking with Big, they told me that their aggression, that big put-up, so for example, to take banana control, that had been a problem for VP, and I can respect that. But a competitive game of Counter-Strike is supposed to be like chess. Someone makes a move, someone comes in with a tactic, so you adapt, so then they adapt, and you kind of chase each other in terms of how you approach the game. I never saw the step 2 from VP. It's like they started with the game plan, and they were like, oh, it's not working. Well, I guess we're just going to keep on doing with that. And at some point, it should work. No, that's not how you go about Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
You go with an idea, it's not working, you adapt. And I didn't see this change of pace from VP, and we need to see it today.
Exactly, and we're going to have to see that up against Cloud9. Their opponents in the first matchup of the day. Obviously, yesterday, they lost out to Renegades 16-10. That first half we were talking about, the T side, it's kind of weird because I say historically, these guys have been together for what, a couple of weeks in Cloud9? Yeah, I mean, it's quite long in comparison to a lot of these teams here, but their T sides have seemed to be their strong point. And it was weird seeing them flip onto CT side and getting a few rounds, getting a bit of momentum, but obviously they did lose out to Renegade 16-10 in the end. I kind of wonder what they're going to be bringing to today as well. It's a bit of a question mark.
It definitely is. I think C9 really need to focus on not getting flustered when things don't go wrong. You know, we always talk about how players faltering under pressure and things. I don't think the pressure is what got to Cloud9 yesterday. I just don't think they were prepared for the looks that Dexter was getting on Renegades. You know, his aggression was really catching them off guard. It seems like they weren't able to recover in those rounds because they had really nice ideas on taking over parts of the map. We're going to be seeing Overpass again as the first map. They need to be able to focus on getting into those bomb sites. Every time they got past the bathroom area, going into those bomb sites, they were just really spread out far apart. They didn't have the trading capabilities, so they need to make sure that they stay polished and focused all throughout the rounds and not let little gimmicky plays throw them off guard.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to bounce back on that quickly, the ability to adapt from plan A to plan B is something that we sometimes criticize new teams for, rookie teams for, and I think that's what happened to Cloud9 versus Renegades. As you said, they came in prepared, they had ways to take over the map, but then Dexter was just in their face, not enabling them to go with the strategy, and they never found any breathing space in that.
Yeah.
So if you're VP, that's even another reason to be more aggressive. You want to go into Cloud9's face and not let them have their game plan.
Well, I think that's a perfect segue into our predictions, the first ones of the day. The guys are ready in the server, so we're going to be quick with this. Potter, who are you siding with?
I'm going with Cloud9 again. I'm keeping faith. I think best of threes is going to be their bread and butter. Let's go Cloud9.
I'm going VP because this time I decided to go 100% prediction right, so go.
Oh, okay. I think I
regret that so badly. That is going to be so bad. Why?
Well, I think I'm going to go with Virtus.pro as well, but I do think this is probably going to go to all 3 maps. I really, really hope it does because I want to see Vertigo. I love a bit of Vertigo. You know this, Potter.
Yes.
I was part of the Vertigo fan club back in Seville. And obviously a very, very, very close Twitch chat polling prediction there, just siding with Cloud9. We're going to head to a short break. When we are back, we'll be getting into our first best of 3 series of the day.
Day 2 has arrived here in Leipzig, Germany, and we have a bit of a cracker to start things off. Cloud9 and VP both had fairly disappointing debuts here on German soil, but they've got a chance to make amends now in the best of 3.
Yeah, especially VP yesterday wasn't looking like a team that has been, you know, fine and major. First of all, doesn't look like a team that are supposed to be a top 10 team in the world. Doesn't look like a team who got a guy like James on the team, right, who's considered by many to be one of the strongest AWP players in the game. Yesterday was a big, big disappointment, so hopefully they can turn that around today. Whereas for Cloud9, yes, it didn't look too good yesterday, but they showed up some individual skill. There was a few occasions where you saw the individual powers coming out of this lineup, so I believe that Cloud9, despite the loss yesterday, are feeling quite confident coming into this game.
I definitely agree with that, especially as I feel like there's more pressure on VP than there is Cloud9 going through into this. But right off the bat, OC's been stabbed. We saw that happen yesterday as well. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to have too much of an impact. When USPs are on the server, in pistols, of course, the one-tap potential is always on the cards. But they're going to be taking fast aggression through connector towards the bathrooms. It's only Kicker that's here, laid in wait, waiting for the rest of his team to start to make a move. And with that noise, and more importantly, the bomb down, they are going to go for the full rotation. But so much has happened in such a short amount of time, Pimp, that they don't really have to get a move on, but they decide to push behind the smoke, behind the flashbangs, and so far it's working out for them. It's all on Adren. The veteran's going to have to fend off a 1v3 if he wants to get his team on the board first, and OC decapitates him with the USPs. Not going to be happening.
Great start by Cloud9, coming out very aggressive into this pistol round. As you said, a lot of stuff was going on, and at a certain point, they just felt now is the right time to push. Now we go in, we take the duels, and luckily for Cloud9, they won every single one of those. Well played by them. JT with a great pistol round. We saw them play Overpass yesterday as well, and it was the T side who lacked a lot. So getting off to a good start, winning the pistol here. Hopefully they can convert this one as well. No one from Virtus.pro bought into this round. A few P250s, only one P250, I believe it is. No, actually, I don't think they bought anything besides a flash. So at that point, you know, this should be a round secured for Cloud9. Hopefully they're going to be able to survive a lot of guys as well, and that's the good start they were hoping for. Yesterday, I said, the T side was quite average, to say the least. So a good start today hopefully gives them the confidence that they can change what wasn't looking too good yesterday.
Very true. However, they're not playing against Dexter on Overpass CT side, and he was absolutely ridiculous. So I'll have to see if VP have the same kind of aggression on their defensive side here. Just that flashbang as you highlighted, but they are stacking on B. So if they can time this correctly, maybe get a couple weapons away from Cloud9, could get interesting. But C9 are feeling out the A side of the map. They're going to find out shortly. It's open. That should be a bomb plant, although the bomb actually is quite a distance away. But it seems like VP are happy enough to just stack for the time being. They're starting to make a move towards connector themselves. But surely this is a pretty convincing, comfortable 2-0 for Cloud9 to kick things off.
Yeah, not a lot of stuff here could go wrong. It should have been that Molotov who failed towards the bomb side. But apart from that, Cloud9, they got the A side control. They got all the weaponry to deal with this. And Virtus.pro, frankly, not in a position to get anything done. If they can get away with 1 or 2 kills, which could be the case here, if Floppy doesn't watch out, then I think they'll be happy with it. MOTM here ready as well with the AK-47. It's going to be a slaughter, I think, in middle. Adrian gets a kill on OC, though. That's always a good start. But that should be it, right? You cannot allow yourself to give up more than 1, max 2 weapons in a round like this when Virtus.pro have invested absolutely nothing into the round. And there we go, Sonic, Floppy, finishing up the round, and that's the start Cloud9 was hoping for. Surviving 4 guys, building up economy, getting the pistol round, and now we see Virtus.pro most likely going to buy into this round, which means we're not going to see James with an AWP as well. Yesterday, as Maniac said on the desk, he was very lackluster, right? He needed some aggression, he needed some impact. We didn't see that at all. Actually got the AWP, glass cannon, nothing at all on him besides the AWP. No grenades, no armor, no nothing. I like that. It speaks of confidence, but we'll have to see the impact with it today. We know how good he can be. Yesterday was a disappointment, but if they want to win this game against Cloud9, he needs to step it up.
And many teams in the past have been slow starters, and then they start to shift through the gears. James been flashed out instantly, has to pull back. Also going to give the call to Adren to help him out. Buster elsewhere has broken the deadlock, gets VP on the board first. Good news for their first rifle round. Alleviates a bit of the pressure. And as you highlighted, having the glass cannon up, it leaves them pretty bare in terms of nades. They only have 3 smokes and a flashbang to play with. So that first kill is so huge. Buster, in the meanwhile, boosted up, can't see anything, so you're going to back away.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Cloud9 heard that rotation coming in. That's why we see them all rotate over towards the B bomb side now. Actually, they're going back towards A. Jay misses the timing just by a short margin here. He's starting to second guess himself as well, rotating down to CT spawn, and that leaves only 1 guy on this A bomb side. That's going to be Adren. We saw it yesterday. He did it. A nice 3K on Inferno, but he'll have to do it 1 more time here. He gets spots out. Being pushed back towards bank, getting Molotov off as well here. going to be tough for Adrian to do anything here, so it'll have to be a retake from Virtus.pro.
This is where the lack of nades may be a bit of a nuisance, maybe a bit of an issue. Plus, no defuse kit. Bomb planted on default. VP actually going to be all pushing through the same side. It's going to be one-dimensional. There is no connector play. There is no flank on the cards. So ruthless aggression going to be called upon. The strength in numbers approach. MOTM at long is going to get picked off by James. JT playing bottom, playing passively. Going to get rewarded with 2 kills as a flashbang also comes in. But finally, Buster is going to start to lay down the law. It's going to be close. They are going to stick on the defuse, but I think he's just about got there in time. Or not.
No.
A millisecond off.
Oh my god. What a round by Buster, though. That was... Oh, that's going to sting a lot for Virtus.pro. That was a very close one. As you said, lack of utility, lack of defuse kits as well, lack of equipment to deal with this Cloud9 roster. Beautiful stuff by Buster, though. A 4K, he got the opening kill as well. He did everything in his power to win this round. But unfortunately for Virtus.pro, as you said, a millisecond too late on the bump. Couldn't get the defuse in. That's a bit of a steal for Cloud9 here, going up 3-0. They definitely did not expect that now, moving into this round. A little bit of investment coming into it. Buster, obviously, still on the AK-47, the armor. Same goes for James. He bought up an armor to his AWP, so that's always going to be dangerous. But apart from that, Adrian, Sanji, and Cricket only on pistols. Adrian trying to find a kill on the ground, not successful with it. You can see the trade frag would have been there as well had he been successful. So Cloud9 approaching this fine, fair, and it's starting to look a bit grim for Virtus.pro.
No doubt about that. The early stages, they've had their opportunities. Cloud9 been in the ascendancy. Should be more of the same. Still plenty of smokes. 4 in total to execute onto B with, plus Molotovs. It's hard to see how they can really hold the line. You feel like James is going to have to really pull a rabbit out the hat if they're going to pull this miracle off. He has been flashed and smoked out of position. Has to fall back, goes back in, and there's Floppy. Potter highlighted him as being one of the key members, and that's why 3 kills with the SG.
That was a beautiful round by Floppy, indeed. Cloud9 up 4-0 now, and already off to a much, much better start than they had yesterday against Renegades on the very exact map. Overpass the T-side yesterday looked deflated. They couldn't deal with the aggression coming in from Renegades in particular. As you mentioned, Dexter really caught them off guard a lot of times. But this time around, Virtus.pro haven't been able to do anything to stop Cloud9. A millisecond too late on defuse, and that was enough for Cloud9 to go up 4-0 here. That's again, you know, the start you want. Buster getting the opening kill. He's really had a strong half so far. He's sitting at 5 kills. 2 of them is opening duels in buy rounds, so that's a lot of impact right there. Can't always just count the kills and count on the impact, but the fact that he's now twice in a row in the only 2 buy rounds that's been in this game, got the opening kill, that's high impact from the get-go from this young man. So good start for Virtus.pro once again. This time around, though, they need to capitalize on it. They need to win the round, and they need to get inside this game and hopefully able to survive maybe 2 or 3 guys so they can also start to build up an economy, because it's looking a little bit low in that aspect for the Virtus.pro guys. None of the guys have any money left besides Buster, but that's not enough. If you lose this round, that's going to be another weak buy. Not looking like it, though. James getting some impact with the AWP, finding another opening, and now Cloud9 3 against 5. We saw it yesterday against Renegades, Vince. They were close a few times to pull it back, but can they do it against Virtus.pro?
And it was OC. He was the main man behind the wheel, and he is still alive. Floppy again from short, nearly doubles up. But it's Buster who starts the round off on short aggression, and is going to hold the line this time around. Sonic and OC being tagged up from multiple angles. The shrapnel lodged in their kneecaps. Sonic is going to try and change his angle of aggression. They're going to peek him 1 by 1. It does work out for the time being. OC left alive. It is a lot of damage to VP's economy, but finally they are going to get around.
Indeed they are, and that's a great round by Virtus.pro. James getting some impact with the AWP, finding the second opening of the round. Buster once again, as we highlighted, with another opening kill. That's enough for Virtus.pro. We saw it yesterday when Renegades put on pressure on Cloud9. They couldn't deal with it. Now the problem with that is we also saw yesterday that Virtus.pro an extremely defensive game on Inferno. They weren't aggressive. They weren't really going for those kills, weren't really taking away any space from Big Clan when they played Inferno yesterday. And if they've seen the Cloud9 game yesterday, they know that how you deal with Cloud9 on the Overpass, that's by being aggressive. But if that's not your playstyle, then what are you going to do?
Going into defaults, I feel like may just be a recipe for disaster on VP, and they've been caught twice. Good utility from OC. Gets 2 assists with his flashbangs. JT now in, gets flashed to his face, still with the SG, comes out swinging with 1. Dren's the only player to muster up any kind of comeback, but he is doing a hell of a job. That's the bomb drop behind Pillar. And Sonic is stuck on the site with 2 HP. They're both incredibly low. But will the call come through for James? He's still going to be looking with the AWP. He could pull out his sidearm and get this round under wraps. Bomb going to be getting planted. No nades, no life. Floppy again. Huge impact with the SG.
Super, super close round. Adrian almost able to pull it back. Fine play with the SG on the B bomb side. Stayed alive for a long, long time. Got the kills, got the impact. It wasn't enough though. And Cloud9 gets away with another round. On the backs of Floppy with another beautiful round. Finishing it off here on James with the SG. Relatively easy kill, but a kill is a kill. And now we see once again Virtus.pro. The money is just not there. James survived with the AWP, but that's it. Actually, no. Sorry, he afforded that one. He bought into it. So they're doing the reverse Superman, so to speak. They're not buying anything besides a glass cannon, AWP, and James. And I'm not sure that's the correct move here. And that is exactly why.
Yeah, JT seems to agree on that one. He's like, oh, a free AWP. Let's take that away. Kicker, oh, is going to bring it back in bathrooms. Meanwhile, MOTM, though, is prowling on B, which definitely does seem to be the weaker of the sites at this point. Cloud9, all but one of the rounds has really tried to push on to this site. MOTM's going to be taking point with the SG. It's going to be another kill. I think he just caught a glimpse of the player in water. He did indeed, before the smoke blocked his vision. Bomb plants, a Dren, Desert Eagle, and a Dream against 4 in-form Cloud9 players. Going to be banking the flash off the walls, not really going to do too much in terms of fragging. Maybe he can piece out of there. But as you say, having James buy in the previous round, it's going to be an interesting situation that they find themselves now in the next one, Pimp. If they can actually drop him across an AWP, and even if they do, he hasn't really had a lot of impact in the opening picks. He's been getting caught quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a fan of that move. I know that James is a strong AWP player. I know he can have a lot of impact with it, and it's sometimes, sometimes you got to be willing to risk in order to win. But at this stage of the game, it's all about stabilizing. It's all about stringing a few rounds together, and I don't think you're doing that by gambling too much in the beginning. I want a timeout here. I would, ideally want a timeout from Virtus.pro. Need to sit down and talk. How do we deal with this Cloud9 lineup? We saw yesterday that they could not handle aggression. And yes, maybe it's not the way Virtus.pro would like to play. Maybe it doesn't suit their play style. But if you're a class team, if you're supposed to be a top 10 team in the world, which I think them themselves think they are, you got to be able to play more than one style of Counter-Strike. You can't be that one-dimensional. So put on the aggression, as we see right here. James, a little bit aggressive, putting a nade into the face of OC. That's nice. Down to 25 HP. But again, they're just falling back, and they're giving up a lot of room for the Cloud9 guys. I'm not sure I like this from Virtus.pro. I'm sorry, but if you're as good as you think you are, then you gotta be able to play more than just this one-dimensional defensive Counter-Strike style. It's simply not enough, especially when you're facing a team that likes to play against that. Gotta be able to change it up, show some diversity if you want to be a top team and not just a team that occasionally does well.
Yeah, adapting is a huge part, an integral part of Counter-Strike. And as Maniac mentioned on the desk, CS to a degree is kind of like a chess game. You want to be positioning the enemy where it makes you strong. And right now, VP, it feels like I'm playing into that trap a little bit too much.
See a bit of aggression coming in from James here, though. It's a very upfront position. He's hiding behind the smoke. I'm just afraid as soon as that smoke goes away, he's going to fall back to a bomb site, and that allows for Cloud9 to execute onto it, if that is what they want. They still have a lot of utility. Cricket being caught off guard here on short. Gets the opening now. James goes down to 35 HP as well. A lot of action is going on. Now James goes down completely, and Cloud9 is in a 5 versus 3. Time to regroup, figure out what bomb site you want to hit. JT, he's going to go up and he's going to clear the A bomb site. He knows there's only Adrian on low HP. Still up to go for this B bomb site. This is the kill though. Sanji can stay alive, there's a chance. But it's not looking likely, is it?
He does get one. That's his first kill of the game thus far. Now Adren, 13 HP, has been smoked off. Only with FAMAS, he was the player that dropped for James at the start. Will be able to trade up for the SG, but I think the calls came through that the AWP is down in bathroom, so you'll want to hold that on for the IGL. However, Again, you look at the overall score, 7-1. VP have never really felt in this game.
Yeah, and they're playing too defensively. They're playing without any synergy, I'd say, in between the players as well. If you go aggressive like Kicker trying on short, then you gotta have the trade frag potential available. You gotta be there with a teammate. If you're James, you can't play Toilets aggressively alone. You saw Dexter do that yesterday, but he always had a mate near him, right? He always had a mate to take attention for him or set up the aggressive play so he could do the dirty work. Right now, it seems like Virtus.pro, they are well aware that we need to be aggressive. We need to do something in order to stop this Cloud9 train, but you can't do it on your own. You need to do it as a team, and that's why I would love to see a tactical timeout being brought out here so you can discuss it, so you can make a plan that everyone is involved in, but it doesn't seem like the case. So here we go. We got the first tactical timeout of the game. So hopefully they're gonna figure out a way to stop this Cloud9. And if I were the coach right now, I'd probably be saying something along the lines of, let's do a long play, you know, let's put James up with an AWP, have a rifle next to him and see if we can just close down this area, potentially push it later on into the round and you know, take away some of that map control Cloud9 is being gifted right now. I think that'll go a long way for the Virtus.pro guys.
Yeah, it does feel as though they need to recapture respect from Cloud9. At the time being, they're kind of doing whatever they want. They're getting free map control. They're just getting through connector. We haven't really seen VP elect to try and push through that. We do have two players now moving towards middle. Maybe this is the moment. Adren's also going to be joining them. But you did highlight this yesterday as well. When you call a timeout this late and things have been going pretty rough, it could backfire. They may be anticipating the push, and Floppy and MOTM are there to fend them off. It's another even trade. However, JT has been dropped low. But at least VP are taking the fight to Cloud9.
I like this, you know, that's the adaptation. That's exactly what we talked about. VP knew it. Cloud9 probably knew it as well if they're smart guys. Some aggression had to come out, but it's tough to deal with. They knew it yesterday as well with Dexter. He was constantly being aggressive. They constantly knew he was going to be somewhere on the map, but they couldn't deal with it. So finally, Virtus.pro is putting on some of that pressure on the map, and it works out just fine. 3 versus 3 with JT down to 19 HP. I'd take that, given the circumstances of this game, down 7-1. Starting to look a bit better for Virtus.pro, but they need to close it out. Can't let this one slip away. They need to put rounds on the board. Overpass is a CT-sided map, and if you only get away with 2 or 3 rounds in the entire half, I'd say that's pretty much game over already.
Yeah, this will start to be coming into the back of their minds. However, Adren to try and take this and run with it. Even trade once again. 35 seconds, options available. VP are split up. It's James watching A, while Sanji going to be watching B. That's a well-timed smoke. It is going to funnel Cloud9 both onto Monster. Once those footsteps are heard, Jamie is going to make a move. In fact, he's preemptively moving into position. It's looking like it could work out after all for VP, or perhaps not. 14 seconds to go. Both players do land a little bit of damage, but James now back against the wall of graffiti, and he's been tagged down by OC. 8-1.
It is starting to look real bad for the Virtus.pro guys. As you said, 8-1, another round where they got the right idea, they executed the aggression, kind of caught Cloud9 off guard, but couldn't really finish up the round. Once again, Cloud9, they're showing like they showed yesterday against Renegades, when it is a 3 versus 3, when it gets down to the clutch scenarios, when you just have to win the duels in order to win the round, Cloud9 is on pair and on level with basically anyone in this tournament. So starting to look grim for Virtus.pro. This is a good opening though from Kicker. The boost in connection, we're probably going to see it in a highlight later on. That's well played, and that gives them 2 opening kills into this round. A third one from Kicker as well, and that's exactly what you want to see from Virtus.pro. Answering back straight away in a round they had no business winning, given the investment. Only 1 M4 and 4 pistols put down Cloud9 to only 2 surviving members make that one.
Floppy's job is to do as much damage on his way out as possible. Their finances are fine. Obviously, doesn't want to give another SG across to the CTs, but they already have a bunch of arsenal that they've taken away from the hands of Cloud9 already.
I'd even say this is winnable. If he gets away with 1 kill here, gets some map control over towards this A bomb site. Now he's giving away his position, I believe, with the sound. But there's still, you know, a CC in the hands of Adrian here. He's the only one defending A bomb site right now, apart from the toilet guy. Can get this kill, there's a chance. He's aware they can be all over the place. Probably gets the first one, but not able to connect on Adrian. And there we go. Beautiful stuff by Virtus.pro. A round they had no business winning, investing 4 CCs and only 1 M4 into the hands of Kicker. He made it work, and we're going to see this boost here in Underground exactly beautiful little trick play. You guys can try it at home as well. It's super, super easy, and you can catch off guys left and right in a matchmaking game, or face it for that matter, I promise you that. I'm sure you've been boosted before, Vince.
Once
or you're the
twice.
booster?
No.
No, you're the one getting boosted.
Yeah.
Of course, you're the star.
Oh dear, bust up. Flashbang, poorly timed from a teammate. Both going to take damage in amongst the chaos of Monster. 20 HP versus 30, but Adren elsewhere has put down Floppy. MOTM being boosted up. Maybe able to see somebody, but just narrowly misses out. Buster has been finalized though. So B is starting to crack wide open. Kicker, the hero of the round gone by, is now going to be called upon once again to hold the line. The M4 is not going to be ripping through any heads just yet. Sanji is going to go down next. This even trades constantly back and forth, down into a 2-on-2. Bomb is getting planted. Both the CTs going to be boosting now, with James peering over. He's seen both players. He knows the last is in water, hence the Molotov. But MOTM's already changed positions. He's already mixed it up. He's waiting. He's seen James. There's a first headshot, but Adren will counteract. And VP will get 2 rounds in a row. Maybe they can end this half decently after all.
There's definitely the potential for it now. A nice little retake, a nice little play to do the boost in a 2 versus 2 in CT spawn. It's with high risk, but the reward was also high. It resulted in a round win for the Virtus.pro guys. Again, Cloud9, they're doing fine with the trades, right? You take a 2 versus 2 bomb plant down in any given situation, any given day on a map like Overpass. Unfortunately, this time around, they couldn't finish it. Virtus.pro with another round on the board. The only problem for them is that the rounds they're winning right now, they're doing it only surviving 1 or 2 guys. So the money is not there yet. They're not building up an economy, but the same can be said for Cloud9. It's been some close rounds, and that means they're now into an anti-eco. Invested into it, a few pistols, some utility. Armor on JT, Modern with this saved SG, or invested SG into it, but is that going to be enough? Can he do what Kicker did the last time around?
Some more aggression, but it's not going to work out from this. DZ has gone straight in, but runs out of bullets. JT is going to be so disappointed they didn't pick up a second kill. But again, we're down to a 2-on-2. The same site, the same result. VP will be hoping for the same outcome too. Floppy's been tagged down by the nade. Kicker's going to take some damage and finished off from the Desert Eagle of OC. And now James going to have to stand tall, but he's been cut down to size by Floppy's Deagle, and they bounce right back.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough if you're Virtus.pro at this point. I like the confidence coming out of Cloud9 here. Panning to the crowd a bit, keep doing that. Floppy with another huge Deagle round, finding 3 kills. That last one here on James, that's going to be crucial, obviously, as they won the round because of it. But Virtus.pro, you can't give up a round like that. It's 4 pistols, it's armor only on 2 guys as well. It's simply not a strong enough fight to be rattled out by. And it seems like the structure of this team is falling apart a little bit. We saw it yesterday as well. Now James coming in, being aggressive, hitting the first shot, getting the instant trade frag though from OC. That's the trade I'd take any day from Cloud9. Even though they're trying to be aggressive now, it's still not working out for Virtus.pro. They seem disjointed. They don't seem like they have the team play in order right now to perform, and that's not a good signal, Vince, right? It's a team that, as we talked about coming into the tournament, by many considered the one favorite there was here. You know, they've been fine a major. They've been doing well. Was hitting quite a slump at the end of the year, but we know how strong they can be. Thus far in this game, though, hasn't been the case. Yesterday wasn't the case. Our question is, can Kicker once again be the one-man army for this team? He's needed. It's a 3 versus 3. They need to win this round.
Well, the opening trade has been comprehensively thwarted from VP's perspective, and now Sanji with an MP5 of all weapons to try and close things out. Silent but deadly. He's going to be looking for more, but the M4 will reign over the SMG, and the same result comes into fruition. So Cloud9 already in such a commanding lead on their T half of Overpass. Yes, it was Cloud9's pick, but I was expecting VP to be a little bit more up for it than this.
Definitely, definitely. Once again, very disappointing. I was trying to elaborate it on before. It seems disjointed. It seems like they're one-dimensional in the way they play Counter-Strike right now. They can play defensively, and even when they are playing defensively, it's not successfully, but that's the style they go with. But if it's not successful, you gotta adapt, you gotta change it up, you gotta be aggressive, you gotta take away map space from Cloud9, you gotta contest them on the map. You got to win the duels, and none of these aspects of Counter-Strike and how you perform as a Counter-Strike team is going the way of Virtus.pro right now. So it's not only them losing 10-3, it's them losing on a lot of different aspects as Cloud9 is powering the way into this big bomb side.
Actually can't do too much to muster a defense. James flashed out, also player in water. Trying to flick across, but James been spotted. It's not an easy angle to burst out of. Buster, in the meanwhile, though, is doing a solid job with a FAMAS, land some more damage. James still alive to pivot off for the rest of the CTs. MOTM going to be taking the point of coil, but it's going to be Sonic and OC that both come out with kills. And Cloud9, 11-3 up on their T half.
They're just styling on Virtus.pro right now. I like the change up of pace from Cloud9 as well. Talked about how Virtus.pro is disappointing right now. Talked about how Virtus.pro is not really playing up to their level. At least not the level we expected them to play at, but it's down to the fact that Cloud9 is playing very well as well. Changing up the pace, constantly being, they're being the aggressive. They're the ones controlling the pace on a map like Overpass, and that requires a lot of confidence. JT walking into this bomb site again, winning the duel against Sanji. He was not supposed to survive that one, but he did. Now question is, can he get away with more kills in this round? Buster is just behind the smoke. It's both dancing around it, but JT, he's taking up so much attention, while you can see on the minimap they're moving towards the A-bomb site. 2 guys on A-long. Even though JT goes down here, that A-bomb site could be compromised in just a second from Modem and his teammate.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Because of all the interference play, they have managed to rummage up long. Plus, Sonic has just been found and fragged on B, so that's going to keep at least 3 of them interested. You can see the Jameson connector, but it was all about this. MOTM is going to crack open the A site. James going to have to quickly rotate through with the MP9. Maybe he can get a timing play, but the MP9 at this range is going to do so little damage. However, it will be information gathered, and if he can just move up here slowly, maybe he can cordon off and thwart one of these players in the post plant. But OC is moving back with the rest of his team. Jay may have missed his opportunity. He may have missed his timing to turn the tides of this round. That being said, even if VP did win this, it'd only have 4 rounds, and it's not looking like that's even going to happen. Buster and Adren both got a chip together, cultivate some kind of clutch. OC in such a good position, but it's MOTM that is going to finalize the half, and it reads 12-3 to Cloud9. It has been absolute domination.
We'll see if they can make the comeback straight after the break.
But I only hate you 'cause I love you so damn much, and I don't know what else to do when I can't get through to you. No, I can't get through to you. No, I can't get through to you, and I can't. I think about it all the time, 'cause I just can't accept it when you tell me it's fine, and I don't know what else to do. 'Cause I can't get through to you. I can't get through to you. I can't get through to you. I can't get. It don't feel right. I can't sit tight. I knew that it got bad when I was up all high. Just can't help
Cloud9 have been able to reverse their fortunes from yesterday's game against Renegades, and they take their T-half 12-3. It's at the result of VP being absolutely battered, and the worrying thing here, Jacob, is that yesterday it was Cloud9's CT side that was looking really sharp, and that's what they're moving on now.
Yep, it's looking very rough for Virtus.pro, to be completely honest with you. They need to win this pistol. They need to get back into this game straight away if they want to have any chance whatsoever of making this comeback work. Aggressive wants to be bomb side. Jane walks out. Oh, he's a little bit unlucky with that jump, isn't he? That could be a scroll wheel bug. Kicker trying to enter back, but it's all left to Sanji and Buster. 2 against 4. They desperately need this round. Desperately.
Cloud9, no sign of slowing down either. Buster, he's going to be left alone as Sanji is fully flashed. Can Buster pull off the 1v4? It's looking good. It's a valiant attempt. He's been the standout player for VP, but there's only so much one man can do.
As you said, a valiant effort, but it's not enough. It's not enough right now. Cloud9, as you said, no signs of slowing down, and that's another problem I have with this matchup right now. I saw no signs from Virtus.pro on that CT side that they were finding their way back into the game. They weren't showing, you know, a desire in order to win it. They weren't showing that they got a grasp of what to do or what to adjust to in order to deal with this Cloud9 aggression and deal with the pace that all the Cloud9 players are coming out with. And in the end of the day, I think Cloud9 as well, you know, right now, individually speaking, they're outclassing Virtus.pro. Every single duel, every time we get down to a 2 versus 2, a 1 versus 1, or 3 versus 3, you sit back with the feeling that the Cloud9 players, they're winning those duels. It's not the Virtus.pro players, so it's not looking good for them at all. This round, they opted to invest everything they could into it. Sanji with a ton of grenades, same goes on for James. He also got the SG. It's dropped from Kickert, I believe. I'm not sure that's a good idea to put a man on an SG that also has 4 nades. If he goes down, that's a lot of utility wasted. And that's it, right? He's surviving with 11 HP. That was very close of happening right there. And that's all your utility that goes down right there. And the SG, it's a bad investment for Virtus.pro. It's a very bad investment.
Just seems like they can't catch a break at the moment. VP, maybe Buster can try and break off a few of these Cloud9 players and run onto the site, but he's completely alone. The bomb is way back towards the fountain. It'll take quite some time for the rest of them to get up close enough. Trading weapons. OC going to try and take this opportunity to get round the back of them, but he's been tagged and put down. Good news for VP. 2 more players remain. Floppy and Sonic, both been in fine form. Floppy with so many entries on the T side with his SG. Oh, the double tap with the FAMAS is slick. Not enough though to clutch the round outright. Sonic laying down some pain. The HE doesn't quite tag Sanji up as much as he was hoping for, so it's not going to deny the bomb plant. Does have a smoke, but doesn't have a kit to play with. Can he try and draw some of these players out into the open and maybe dissect them one by one? Jumping on top of the boxes. There's a flash there, though, to stop him in his tracks. Going to drop down, try and trade one of these players out for his own life. They're going to take 2 separate 1v1s, but I think Sonic realizes he can't feasibly get this round clutched now, so he's going to try and save the SG instead. At least VP will get a 4th round, but it's at the cost of 4 lives.
Sonic did just fine right there. He got the best out of a very bad situation. As you said, did a lot of economy damage to Virtus.pro. Ended up winning the round, and that's again thanks to Buster. I think that's been the one sign of life we've seen from Virtus.pro. We saw it on the CT side as well. He won, I believe, 1 or 2 rounds single-handedly with a 3K and a 4K, and now this one as well, the double entry coming into this A bomb site. That's on Buster. It's his fault that Cloud9 haven't won the game yet, so to speak. So Buster is the one sign of life right now that Virtus.pro has. Sanji is sitting at 3 kills. James haven't had any impact whatsoever in this game, despite sitting on 9 kills as well. So putting all the eggs in one basket, and that's Buster right now. He has to do it for them. Sonic with a double opening. Now Buster trying to fight back.
Their one assault rifle has already picked up 2 kills. VP in ruins. Bomb dropped out, is easily salvaged, has now been picked up by Adren through Monsters, where the 2 deaths came in. And now Buster's going to try and pull off some kind of play on short, but when you don't really have much control over the map, you're not entirely sure if someone is coming around the back of you right now and trying to flank. This is why Adren is playing really passively, watching the backside from spawn. This is a nightmare, Pim. I mean, this was their chance. This was their golden ticket back into this map, and they've just tried to cash it in. and it turned out it was a dud. Molotov onto the barrels. Sonic's going to be forced out into position, going to be lining up the flashbang, trying to stop those Ts from coming in. There are 2 players here, but 2 in connector. And as soon as the call comes through, they are going to look to try and crunch onto the Ts who are currently occupying B. They may not be called upon because pistols are more than good enough to thwart VP. This is getting ridiculous.
It's getting out of hand, isn't it? I'd say coming into this game, there was a good chance of Cloud9 doing well. We saw them yesterday, despite the loss. They showed signs of life. They showed that individually speaking, they showed up on the server. Exactly as I said coming into this matchup, but I did not expect Virtus.pro to be this flat. This is not okay. This is not the level that we expect from them. This is not the level Virtus.pro as an organization expected when they bought this lineup, to be completely honest with you. And most important of all, this is not the level that the players themselves expected to have in a tournament like this. Virtus.pro right now looking like they have 1 foot out of the tournament without winning a single map. And the 2 maps they've played so far, 14-4 on this one, and I believe, wasn't it 16-8 or 16-7 or something they lost yesterday? It wasn't a competitive game at all, so it's been very lackluster thus far for Virtus.pro. And this round as well, I'm not sure they're winning it, right? They're investing everything they have into it. A few deagles, armor on James, Kickert with an AK-47, but it's not a lot to work with here.
Indeed, you're spot on. It was 16-8 yesterday on an Inferno, where they just never seemed to get out of first gear. The same could be said in this match as well. Take nothing away from Cloud9, though. They've been exceptionally good. Going to be using 4 SGs now against the oncoming Ts. The nightmare has become a reality, and MOTM is going to close Buster's eyes one more time. JT taking damage, just trying to stay alive. They have players to pivot off on the site, but it's 1v1 trades, and they're all going the way of Cloud9 up until this moment. Kickert maybe lighting a fire under VP and trying to guide them towards some more rounds. But they are going to have to do it at a 2v4 deficit, and now it's all down to Kickert. They know where he is. 15-4, 11 map points.
It's tough. It's very tough to see how Virtus.pro can fight their way back into this game. I don't think they stand much of a chance, to be completely honest. It looks like Cloud9 right now are playing with confidence. They're playing with desire, and they had the right game plan coming into this one. They knew they were facing a team that likes to play defensively. So how do we deal with that on the T side? Well, we play aggressive. We change up the pace. We do it all slow and steady, fast and hard, and you saw the result of that, a strong T side, and that's enough for Cloud9. So far, the CT side, we only seen 1 full buy round, but that was enough for them. They won that one, and ever since, it's just been some lackluster buys coming in from Virtus.pro, and that is it. 15-4, another round where it's just deagles and a single Galil on James. I'm having a hard time believing and seeing and visualizing, for that matter, how they're going to fight their way back into this one. Cloud9 with a dominant performance. They deserve this as well. As you said, they're playing well, they're playing structured, and they're winning the individual duels right now. They got every single aspect going for them, and that's the beautiful story of Counter-Strike sometimes. When you're hitting it, you're hitting it.
Double stack on bathrooms. The gatekeepers to A. OC with 2. MOTM looking to try and double up as well, but he's not going to be required, more than likely, to take this map away from VP. Going down with a bit of a whimper here. Kickert over on the other side of the map. It's going to be found down by Floppy, and the first map comfortably, convincingly goes the way of C9 on their choice of Overpass, and in every single metric, in every single measurement, to me, Pimp, they were by far the better team.
By far the better team. As said, they had the right game plan, they had the right execution, they knew how to change up the pace on the T side. We saw yesterday them struggle a lot to deal with the aggression coming in from Renegades, the aggression coming in from Dexter. Well, there was no such aggression coming in from Virtus.pro today. To me, that's a big mistake, and to me, that's a big sign that either Virtus.pro don't know how to deal with that, or either Virtus.pro is just a one-dimensional team who only knows how to play in their own way, and that's not good enough if you want to be a top team in Counter-Strike. So the conclusion of this game, at least, it's still not over for Virtus.pro. Let's be honest, they can still fight back into this tournament, but the 2 maps we've seen them play thus far, it's been absolutely lackluster.
Yeah, I mean, they've managed to collect 12 rounds in 2 maps.
Yeah.
That's really depressing, but we'll see if maybe on their choice of Dust 2, they can bring this back after this short break.